सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। From the shloka, I am sure you have understood what is today's topic. We are seeing Samvadas from various scriptures of ours. Yesterday we saw very beautiful Samvada between Yamarāja and Nachiketas from the beautiful Upanishad Kaṭhopaniṣad. So Śruti, Veda, now we come to Smṛti prasthāna. From Upanishads we come to Śrīmad Bhagavad-gita. So today's topic is Śrī Kṛṣṇa-Arjuna Samvāda, which is very, very, very famous. We all know this. See, each religion, as they say, has one text, one prophet or one who started the religion, isn't it? And one God. You say Islam, you take Christianity, you take Buddhism, any religion you take, they will have one book that they follow, one prophet who started, isn't it? And one God that they worship. But our Sanātana Hindu Dharma is little different in that way. If you ask which is that one text of Sanātana Hindu Dharma, we cannot get the same answer. Somebody will say Ramayana, somebody will say Mahabharata, somebody will say Veda, somebody will say Gītā, somebody will say Bhagavad. Isn't it? All of them are fine, right only. Though we say all of that, all those scriptures have got their source in Veda only, but still there are so many texts. One rishi or one person who started the dharma, we cannot point out. There are so many rishis, Vishwamitra Rishi, we saw Vasishtha Rishi, Vedavyasa, Shankaracharya, so many rishis who are there who did great work, but there is no one person who started the dharma, started the religion. And that's why the name is Sanātana Hindu Dharma. In the same way, if you ask which is that one God you worship, the one God that we worship doesn't have any form. And therefore that Ishvara who comes in any form, we worship all the forms. We worship Ganesha also, we worship Vishnu also, Shiva also, Devi also. We worship all forms of God. Right? So in that way, our Sanātana Dharma is little different. But even then, if there is one text which is considered to be the text of Hindu religion, Hindu Dharma, it is this Bhagavad-gita. Correct? And as other scriptures also we were seeing, this beautiful text also is unfolding in the form of a beautiful dialogue. Yesterday we saw the difference between Vada, Jalpa, Vitanda, Samvada, etc. This is also Samvada. So we have at the end of every chapter of Bhagavad-gita, the colophon which is there, the ending part which is there, which says, Om Tat Satiti Srimad Bhagavad-gita Su Upanishadsu Brahmavidyāyam Yoga Shastre Śrī Kṛṣṇa Arjuna Saṁvāde. This is the dialogue between Śrī Kṛṣṇa and Arjuna. Now I don't have to go into the story. It is not like the story of Nachiketas, which many of us did not know. We didn't know that, okay, Nachiketas had a father, he was doing Vishwajit Yaga. We might not have known the story, but this story all of us know. The story of Śrī Kṛṣṇa, the story of Arjuna, the story of Mahabharata, and how they have reached that situation, that place of final war. We know the entire story. Correct? So I am of course not going to go in detail with that, but who is Śrī Kṛṣṇa? Śrī Kṛṣṇa is Bhagavan. Śrī Kṛṣṇa is also a Kshatriya born in Yaduvamsha. Śrī Kṛṣṇa is also Arjuna's cousin. But here Śrī Kṛṣṇa is the Guru. Different role. See, as each character is also Ishvara, is also Bhagavan, he is also taken avatara, and then he is also, Kshatriya, so he has done that job also. He is cousin and friend of Arjuna also. That role also we see him playing in entire Mahabharata. But here we see a very different facet of Śrī Kṛṣṇa, and that is of a Guru. Now we know the background, and because of the entire plot, entire background, this is a very, very interesting Samvada, because the place is not meant for Samvada to happen. All other Samvadas that we see are in a quiet place, in some forest, in some mountains, somewhere calm, quiet, ashrama, the Samvada is happening. Isn't it? Now here the Samvada is happening where? On the battlefield. And the battle is announced. Samvada is happening after that. So very unusual plot. And if you remember the picture, Śrī Kṛṣṇa is the charioteer of Arjuna. Isn't it? And as charioteer, he is on the lower level in the chariot, in the ratha, and Arjuna is at the higher level, because he is the master of the chariot. Isn't it? And if you see the first chapter, Śrī Kṛṣṇa is standing because he is driving the chariot. And Arjuna is sitting down. Rathopasto upavishata. That's how first chapter concludes, that whatever happened, Arjuna sat down. So the student is sitting down on a higher pedestal, and the teacher is standing on a lower pedestal. And the knowledge is being given. See, nowadays, this kind of classroom structure, we have the teacher at the lower end and the students go higher and higher. That's the Western classroom structure. But we see in our ashrams, etc., it's never like that. We always have the teacher on a higher level. Why? Not just physically higher level, but we respect the knowledge, and therefore we say that, okay, then the knowledge transforms. But it is good, because Sakshat Gītā ji was also told with this different kind of physical structure as well. So we have a very, very unique plot where Srimad Bhagavad-gita unfolds. We see that the dialogue begins in the first chapter. Actually, the dialogue which is going on in Mahabharata is between Sanjaya and Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra Sanjaya Samvada is going on, and in that this Śrī Kṛṣṇa Arjuna Samvada comes. So Dhritarashtra has asked a question to Sanjaya, what happened on the battlefield of the Kurukshetra? What did my sons and Pandu's son do? Right? That's how we see the beginning of Bhagavad-gita also. And Sanjaya is narrating. Sanjaya is the eyes for Dhritarashtra, and by special power given by Vedavyasji, he is able to see everything, he is able to hear everything, he is able to feel every single person who is there on the battlefield, and therefore he is able to narrate entire story, what all things are happening on the battlefield, he is narrating to Dhritarashtra. So we start with that, and first chapter we see Duryodhana approaching Dronacharya and blabbering, and Dronacharya doesn't pay attention at all, and Duryodhana becomes little agitated also and starts to talk to his army, which is a very depressing speech because he is praising the other side, Pandava's side, etc. So Bhishma, the chief, the in charge of the army, understands that this is not going to help us, so he blows the conch and announces the war. We see Bhishma doing it, and of course then the Pandavas also reply. That is where Sanjaya comes to Pandava's side and starts to explain what happened. So we see a beautiful picture that Sanjaya portrays. Tatashvetair hayair yukte mahatischandane sthito madhava pandavaschaya divyan shankho pradadmut. We come to the Pandava side, there is such a beautiful chariot and so beautiful horses and such a beautiful Madhava is there, and Pandava, the Arjuna is also sitting. And then he also elaborates what are other army in charges, etc. of Pandava sides, and how all of them blew their conches, etc. He narrates all that, and then the camera comes to the hero of the story. You take Krishna or Arjuna, they are the hero of Mahabharata story, and Arjuna as the hero, as the main lead, as the warrior, orders his charioteer that, "O Krishna, take my chariot in between the two armies. Senayor ubhayor madhye ratham sthapaya mechyuta." Take my charioteer in between the two armies. Why? Yavadetan niriksheham yotsumanana vakshita. Kairmaya saha yodhavyam asmin rana samudyame. I want to see with whom I have to fight. So I want to have all of them in one picture. Okay. I want to mark. And I also want to see who are these people who have come to fight from Duryodhana's side. They are not understanding that they are on a wrong side, they are on a adharma side. So please take my chariot in between the two armies. And Śrī Kṛṣṇa, as a humble charioteer, takes the chariot in between the two armies, but we should not forget that Śrī Kṛṣṇa is Vishnu's avatar. So he doesn't do anything just like that. There is something hidden in every single thing that he does. So we see, technically Arjuna has said that take my chariot in between the two armies. But where, he has not told. See, imagine there are Kauravas standing, Pandavas standing. So suppose the line of control, as they call nowadays, is like this, then in between the two armies means here. But where in this line, that Arjuna has not told. So what Śrī Kṛṣṇa does is, he takes the chariot in between the two armies, but he takes right in front of Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya and stops. And says, the only line that he says in the first chapter, Partha, Vacha Partha Pashyaitan Samavetan Kuruniti. See, Samavetan Kurun Pashya. Hey Partha, see the Kauravas who have assembled here. I am sure, though the words say that see, Śrī Kṛṣṇa must have said, see, these are the two people that you have to fight. You are asking, no, with whom you have to fight. Main are these two people. All other are, small people. Karna is not there. If you know Mahabharata story, Karna has not come to fight. He comes only after Bhishmacharya falls. So the main people with whom Arjuna has to fight and Arjuna has to stop are these two. And Śrī Kṛṣṇa also knows that they are very dear to Arjuna. One is his grandfather, another his guru. And for Arjuna, Dronacharya was everything. And Bhishmacharya also, so much of love was there from both sides. So Śrī Kṛṣṇa, understanding that something may happen, puts him in the place exactly in front of Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya, and we see the inevitable happening. We see that Arjuna loses the perspective and suddenly goes into deep depression. Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananji explains this so beautifully. He says Arjuna goes through nervous breakdown in today's term. Total breakdown. Why? Guruji also, Swami Tejomayananji also assesses this situation beautifully, and he says that when there is ignorance of identity, there arises confusion of duty. Beautiful, beautiful line. When there is ignorance of identity, there arises confusion of duty. Arjuna is standing there as a warrior of dharma. And whom he is seeing are the warriors standing on the side of adharma. This is the identity with which he is going there, but he loses the perspective. He forgets that he is standing there as a warrior. He feels that he is standing as Arjuna. And so who are the people? My grandfather, my guru. You see? When you don't understand who you are, you completely get deluded about what you are supposed to do. That is what has happened to Arjuna. And his mind takes control and says that, no. We should not fight this battle. Why? Because these are my people. How can you kill your own people? And remember, this is the final battle. In this battle, either you win or you die. There is no third option. It's not like the battles which Arjuna has faced before. He has faced all these people in Virat kingdom also. At the end of their Ajñātavasa, he has faced all of them. But at that time, it was not a final battle where he has to kill or get killed. But this, everyone knows, is the final battle. And his mind says, we cannot kill these people. Why? Because they are our people. How can you kill? They are mine. We see also, he says that I see my own friends, my own family members, my own brothers, my own fathers. Fathers means those who are on the, father's position, grandfathers and Shvashura, fathers-in-law, etc. All of them standing here on both sides. How can I fight them? I cannot. We see that there are around 22 verses that Arjuna keeps on saying that no, we cannot fight, and gives various reasons why we should not fight. That it is not right on our part to fight, it is sinful action, it is not going to bring any goodness here or hereafter, and entire society will suffer. And he paints the entire picture in front of Śrī Kṛṣṇa. And if we read also first chapter, all the points that Arjuna is saying are right, but they are at a wrong place. You see, all this discussion has happened before. War is the final thing which is unavoidable. Śrī Kṛṣṇa himself has tried all the means to avoid the war. He has gone even as a messenger. He doesn't have to, he is Lord of the universe, but he has gone as a messenger to Kaurava's side and say that, avoid war. Give the kingdom back. If not, at least give 5 villages. If not that, at least give 5 houses. If not, he has come down to that level to avoid the war, and it has not been avoided. So this is not the place to have all these arguments. Arjuna's points are right, but they are at a wrong place. And we see Arjuna talks, and talks. And Śrī Kṛṣṇa listens, and listens. In any Samvada, one of the very, very important qualities is this. When the other person is talking, you listen. Śrī Kṛṣṇa has not opened his mouth even once in the entire chapter. We saw that the only sentence he says is, Arjuna, see. Because Arjuna said, take my chariot in between. So he says, see, these are the people who have gathered. That's it. After Arjuna starts talking, Śrī Kṛṣṇa has not spoken a word. Then finally, we see that the first chapter ends with Arjuna puts his bow and arrow down, he sits down in the chariot crying and says to Śrī Kṛṣṇa, na yotsya. I am not going to fight. I am not going to fight. So that is where now the second chapter begins, where Śrī Kṛṣṇa speaks. And we see that the initial technique used by Śrī Kṛṣṇa is called as shock treatment. When somebody is absolutely depressed and doesn't want to do anything, first thing that the teacher does is tries to wake that person up by saying that, get up, what like a eunuch you are sitting down, you are Arjuna, don't you remember who you are? So he is just trying to see if this shock treatment works. So we have two verses of Bhagavan, actually bashing Arjuna just to see, whether this is working. Kutastva kashmalamidam vishame samupasthitam anarya jushtam aswargyam akirtikaram Arjuna klaibyam masmagam of Partha naitatva upapadyate. This doesn't behove you at all. Therefore what? Shudram hridaya daurbalyam tyaktva uttishta parantapa. Give up this small pittiness of your heart and get up. But Arjuna doesn't get up. He doesn't stand up. He keeps on giving more reasons. And as he is giving reasons, he understands that there is something wrong with my thinking. Arjuna himself understands. Why? Because some time back what he was telling, he starts, going against his own words. Contradictory words within his speech, he understands. That earlier he was saying that if we fight, we will win. If we win, we are going to get the Rajya kingdom. What is the use of that kingdom when I have killed my own people? Now he starts saying, we don't know whether we are going to win or lose. Arre, just now you said if you fight, you are going to win. So he immediately understands that there is something wrong with me. This is not me. This is something else. And that is the time when Arjuna surrenders. So till this point, Śrī Kṛṣṇa and Arjuna are talking as friends, as brothers, probably as warrior and charioteer also. But now, Arjuna surrenders and says, Karpanya dosho pahata svabhava pritchami tvam dharma sammudha cheta yat shreyasyat nishchitam bruhitanme śiṣyasteham shādhimam tvam prapanna. O Krishna, I have lost my nature and I am totally confused about my duty. Dharma sammudha cheta. And therefore, yat shreyasyat nishchitam bruhitanme. Please tell me that which is good for me. Śiṣyasteham. I am your student. Shādhimam. Please teach me. Prapannam. Tvam prapannam. I am surrendering unto you. Please teach me. When the student has accepted the teacher as a teacher, then the teacher starts to teach. Till now, Śrī Kṛṣṇa was a friend. Now, Śrī Kṛṣṇa has become the Guru. Arjuna also says that I don't see my delusion going by any other means. So don't just say that Arjuna, fight for now, later on I will teach you. No. Till the time you give me knowledge, it is not going to go. I will have this deluded feeling in me, and therefore please teach me. And Bhagavan, as a good teacher, starts the entire knowledge. So the question of Arjuna is what in Samvada, we often have to understand one-to-one connection. What is the question? What is the answer given? So what we will try to do today is, we will just try to see what are the questions of Arjuna in Bhagavad-gita and what are the answers given. I am not going to go into the entire knowledge of Gītā. Samvada is the thing that we are focusing on, right? So Arjuna's question here, at the beginning in the second chapter is what? What is it which is absolutely good for me? Now here one point is very, very important for all of us to note, is Arjuna is representing all of us. Arjuna is representing a seeker who is confused, who doesn't know. And therefore all the questions of Arjuna are actually our questions, which he is putting in front of the Guru. Therefore, the answer of Bhagavan is to all of us, not just to Arjuna. That also we have to understand. Bhagavan Shankaracharya in his Bhashya makes this point very clear. He says, Arjunam nimitti kritya. Bhagavan Śrī Kṛṣṇa is giving this Upadesha by taking Arjuna as Nimitta. And he is giving the knowledge to all of us. Therefore, this is as much as Śrī Kṛṣṇa Arjuna Samvada, as much as it is dialogue between Śrī Kṛṣṇa and us. It is directly Bhagavan talking to us. Isn't it the question that we get often? We may not pay attention to it, but this question we get, what am I supposed to do? What is good for me? Getting up early morning or sleeping little more? Taking one more gulab jamun or stopping here? Same question. Should I fight or should I run away? It is more, it is more relevant question or probably more important questions, but we also have all these questions. Should I go for this stream or that stream? Which thing should I do? Should I take up job or should I not take up job? Should I go to the camp or attend online? All these kind of questions we always get. What is good for me? Yat shreyasyat. And Bhagavan Śrī Kṛṣṇa has answered from absolute highest level actually. And then slowly he brings it down. He says that as human beings, what all of us have to do, what is absolute good for us, is knowing our own nature. So that self-knowledge is given as answer to Arjuna. First thing Bhagavan gives in second chapter is the self-knowledge. Arjuna, all your problems will be solved if you understand who you are. And therefore, who are you? That is the question that is answered by Śrī Kṛṣṇa at the beginning of second chapter. And then to reach this self-knowledge, what I am supposed to do immediately. So what is the final goal and what I have to do immediately? Final goal is Atma-jnana, that Atma Anubhuti, Sankhya-nishtha, whatever way you want to call. That's why second chapter is also called Sankhya Yoga. And then as a means to achieve that, Karma Yoga is explained in the second chapter. And if you walk this path and if you reach, what will be the nature or what is the nature of a person who has reached the goal? Sthita Prajna Lakshana comes as the last portion of this second chapter. So Arjuna's question was, what is absolute good for me? Bhagavan's answer is the absolute nishreyasa. Nishreyasa means absolute good is realization of one's true nature, which is achieved through Karma Yoga. That's the answer Bhagavan Śrī Kṛṣṇa has given. We enter into third chapter with question of Arjuna. Now here in Bhagavad-gita we will see that every single time Arjuna has asked something, Bhagavan has told and he has stopped. Arjuna asks a question and then Bhagavan continues with the answer. We should be proud of the fact that ours is the only religion which gives so much of importance to asking questions. It is exactly opposite of what we have been taught from childhood. We say that in Hindu religion, no, don't ask questions. All scriptures have come out by asking questions only. Don't ask. Just follow. This is not our religion. Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananda used to say that you must ask questions. Don't believe anything because I am telling. He used to say, longer the beard, greater is the suspicion. You see, I have long beard, so you should suspect me more. Ask questions. We never say that don't ask questions, just accept. And we don't outcast anybody also just for asking questions. That is we should be proud of this thing in our religion. No teacher feels bad because student is asking questions. Actually, in our culture, in our tradition, we encourage students to ask questions. The only thing is that it should be a relevant question. That is what we want to promote. We say that it should be a relevant question. So as long as there are relevant questions coming, teacher doesn't stop. He keeps on answering. In Upanishad Ganga also, TV serial, many of you might have seen, very beginning, second episode only I think is about Prashna Karo. You ask questions. Why? Because Prashna ke garbh mein hi uska uttar chupa hai. Because the answer lies in the very womb of the question. The very core of the question there is answer, and therefore ask questions. And Arjuna, see the name Arjuna itself is Arjavat Arjuna. One who is straightforward is called as Arjuna. So he is very straightforward. If he has doubt, he will ask. He will not think, how can I tell? And if there is a doubt, he will ask. So third chapter begins, and we will see in number of chapters that the chapter has begun only with the question of Arjuna. Here the question is, O Bhagavan, in the second chapter, in the previous Upadesha that you have done, you have glorified knowledge so much that you should know yourself and you should gain that highest knowledge. And one who gains that highest knowledge, that Sthita Prajna, how that person lives, he is of the world but still not belonging to the world, and how free he is, how happy he is. You have portrayed entire picture and so much of glorification of knowledge you have done. But you kept on telling me, therefore Arjuna, get up and fight. Therefore Arjuna, get up and fight. Isn't it? You see the second chapter? Uttishta. Therefore Arjuna, don't sit down, get up, stop crying, fight. So the question Arjuna asks is, Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tat kim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi Keshava. If you think that knowledge is better, then why are you putting me into action? And that to ghora karma. This is not other kind of action which all of us have to do, no study, etc. is a simple kind of action. Here I have to kill my own people. If knowledge is greater, I should go for knowledge. Why are you telling me go for action? Vyamishreneva vakyena buddhim mohayasi me tad ekam vada nishchitya yena shreyaha aham apsayam. Please, Bhagavan, you are now, your statements are, so to say, confusing me. Very, very beautiful student, how the student should ask question. That also we should learn from scriptures only. We don't know even that. You see what Arjuna is saying? Arjuna is not saying that you are confusing me. He is saying that your statements are creating confusion in my mind. It may be clear for you, but I am confused. Vyamishrena iva vakyena buddhim mohayasi iva me. I am not saying that you are doing it, but as though it is happening with me. I am getting confused. Why? Because you are also glorifying knowledge, you are also glorifying karma, action, and then you are telling me to act. Should I go for knowledge or should I go for action? Now again, if you see, this is a question that all of us get at some point or the other. Isn't it? And I am not strictly talking about Adhyatma Vidya only, in anything. Should I go for knowledge or should I act? I think it's better not to act. Most of the times, the question also arises from our laziness because we don't want to act. Then suddenly we put knowledge in between. See, in our religion it is said that God is everywhere. So knowledge, God is everywhere. If He is everywhere, then He is here also. Why should I get up and take bath and go to temple? Knowledge. Why? Because we are lazy to get up and go to temple. So what should I do? Should I go for knowledge or should I go for action? Tad ekam vada nishchitya. Please tell me one thing. No, don't tell me both. Arjuna says, Tad ekam vada nishchitya, that by which I will attain goodness. Yena shreyaha aham apne. And Bhagavan's answer is very beautiful. He says, Arjuna, there is no doubt that Sankhya, that knowledge, self-knowledge is the greatest, but you are not ready for it. Karma Yoga will make you ready for the self-knowledge. Therefore, do Karma Yoga, become ready, then gain self-knowledge. Medical is better or 12th standard is better? Of course medical, but to go to medical you have to first pass 12th standard. Though that is highest, your level or your eligibility right now is in Karma Yoga. So do Karma Yoga, prepare yourself, then go for self-knowledge. And then he gives series of reasons why he should do Karma Yoga, why all of us should do Karma Yoga. Some 7 reasons Śrī Kṛṣṇa is giving. Now after listening to all that, the entire catharsis of action, if you see, entire So beautifully Bhagavan has explained what kind of action puts us in bondage, what kind of action releases us from the bondage, and how it should be done, and how mentally we should do, what physically it should express as. Everything beautifully Śrī Kṛṣṇa has explained. Now Arjuna says, Bhagavan, one doubt. If this is so beautiful and so perfect, why don't people follow? If dharma guarantees happiness, why do people commit adharma? As though sometimes we observe that a person doesn't want to do wrong, but as though he is forced to do wrong things. All our movies are like that only. They will portray that hero is forced to do wrong thing. Situation demands. He doesn't have any money. His father is killed. Mother, poor thing, he's been kidnapped. What will he do? What will he do means he should do what he's supposed to do. But no, what we try to justify the action, wrong action, by saying that the situation has demanded. So as though we feel that human beings are forced to do wrong actions. I don't want to do, but I am forced. Atha kena prayuktoyam papam charati purusha. Anichannapi varshne. Even without willing. Baladiva niyojita, as though somebody is forcing a person to do wrong action. If the entire process of good action, karma yoga, is so beautiful, why does a human being commit sin? This is the question of Arjuna. Actually, the question, if we don't have time to go in detail, but if we will see that the question is arising from immediate Upadesha that Śrī Kṛṣṇa is giving. Śrī Kṛṣṇa was explaining about Ragadvesha, Tayorna Vasha, what is that? He is telling that Tayorna Vashamagacche, Tauhiyasya Paripantino, etc. He is explaining about that Ragadvesha, and he is telling that it is better that you do your duty even if it is with fault. Swadharme nidhanam shreya, paradharmo bhayava. And then immediately Arjuna is asking the question. So it is exactly in line with what Śrī Kṛṣṇa is telling. That you please tell me why a person commits sin. And continuing his Upadesha, Bhagavan says that it is because of his desire. Kama esha krodha esha. Rajoguna samudbhava. Mahashano, mahapapma. Vidhi enamiha vairinam. These are the enemies of a human being. Why does a person commit sin? Because he has desires. See? People are corrupt. Why? Because they have desire. Think, corruption for money, etc. Because they want more money, they want to become popular, they want to become wealthy. People kill other people. Why? Because of desire. Various ways the desires may come out. And therefore, kama will result in krodha, and therefore it is said kama esha krodha esha. Kama itself becomes krodha, and then a person commits sin. But all that arises from kama, desire. So beautifully explained that why does a person commit sin? Because of kama, because of desire. Lust is not the meaning of kama here, okay? Kama in general means desire. For any desire. Desire for wealth, desire for power, desire for progeny, desire for popularity, desire for name, fame, anything. These are the causes. The desire is the cause for all sins. So in this way, Arjuna has asked, and again Śrī Kṛṣṇa has explained. Again, third chapter concludes and Bhagavan takes to the next topic, that Arjuna, I am not giving you some new kind of knowledge. This is the same knowledge which I gave to Surya Bhagavan, the beginning of creation. Then Surya gave it to his son Manu, and then Manu gave to Ikshvaku. And through the lineage, this knowledge has been transferred. And to revive this knowledge, because according to the time, the knowledge becomes irrelevant sometimes. We don't understand the relevance of it. And therefore, to revive the knowledge, I have retold it to you. So based on this, again Śrī Kṛṣṇa, again Arjuna asks a question. In the fourth chapter we see that Bhagavan, you said that you gave the knowledge to Lord's son. How? You are just born. Some 15 years elder to me you are, and we have seen you growing up. We grew up together. Aparam bhavato janma, param janma vivasvata. Katham etad vijaniyam to madhav proktavaniti. How can I understand that you gave the knowledge at the beginning of creation? You are just born, Devaki and Vasudeva, and then you were raised there, and we have been listening to the story. So Bhagavan, taking this question, explains Avatara Rahasya to Arjuna, that I am that same Ishvara who has taken avatar. Ajopi san navyatma bhutanam Ishvaropi san prakritim swamadishthaya sambhavami atma maya. I am that unborn Brahman, unborn supreme reality, avyatma, who doesn't change at all. Bhutanam Ishvara, I am the Lord of all the bhutas, all the beings. But now and then I take birth. How? Prakritim swamadishthaya, by governing my own nature, my own maya, prakriti, I take birth. Sambhavami, atma mayaya. And of course, then the famous shlokas also follow. When does he take avatar? Why does he take avatar? We all have yada yada dharmasya, when, paritranaya sadhunam, why? We know all those verses. He keeps on saying and gives the knowledge of this avatara, and then he tells one important point. He says, please understand, Arjuna, though it looks like I am doing so much of action, actually I am not acting. Namam karmani limpanti, name karma phale spruha. No, not a single action touches me. Why? Because I am the non-doer self and I have knowledge of this. You also gain this knowledge. Then what will happen? Then you will act, but the actions will not taint you, will not touch you. Jnana karma sannyasa. 4th chapter. Jnane karma sannyasa. Giving up of action in knowledge. Means what? Taking that knowledge and keeping that in front, which will what we say, nullify the action. Action will be performed, but it will not be called as action. So using this cue, yes, he has explained this concept also of karma akarma. Karmani akarmayah pashyet, akarmani cha karmayah, sabuddhiman manusheshu, sayuktah, kritsna karma krita. 4th chapter. So you learn this technique, that using this knowledge you act, so that you will act, but it will not be considered as an action. Now, whenever it is said giving up of action, etc., we like. So the 5th chapter begins with another question of Arjuna. Should I do action or should I give up? Because now again you have said that knowledge of akartru atma, the self which is non-doer, will take me beyond action. Then I should go for that knowledge, no, directly. Give up everything and run away. Many married couples, etc., separately come to us and say, Swamiji, should not have got married. Separately they come, okay, not together. Should not have got married. I just want to run away. But then why did you get married? Got married, know what to do. See, running away we always think is the solution. But we don't understand that even if we run away, wherever we will go, we will create our own samsara there. Because you can't run away from your own mind. The entire samsara, sorrow, attachment is created by our own mind. From this mind, how will we run away? And therefore, should I continue or should I run away? This is the question that Arjuna is asking. And you know what Bhagavan is going to tell. Bhagavan says, nothing doing, do action. So he asks, Sannyasam karmanam Krishna punar yogam cha shamsase. Yat shreya etayoho ekam tanme brohis nishchitam. Please tell me one thing, whether karma yoga is good or karma sannyasa is good. This 3rd chapter and 5th chapter questions, they appear very similar, but there is a difference. In 3rd chapter, Arjuna is asking, self-knowledge is better or karma yoga is better? And the answer given is, karma yoga is better for you, because it will prepare you for self-knowledge and then you can gain the knowledge. Now here the question is, karma yoga or karma sannyasa? He is not asking about self-knowledge. Should I do or should I give up? Give up the duties and go and do other duties of sannyasa, etc. And again, here the answer is little different. Why? Because the question is different. He says both are good. He says, Sannyasaha karmayogascha nishreyasa karau ubhau. But for you, tayostu karma sannyasat karma yoga vishishyate. But Arjuna, for you, karma yoga is better. Why? Because it will prepare you for even sannyasa. As long as we are getting this doubt, should I do or should I give up? We should always do. Why? Because when the time will come of giving up, the action will give us up. We don't have to give up action. How long should I take care of my parents? As long as you are alive. Not as long as they are alive, as long as you are alive. Why? As long as you are getting this question, how long should I continue this action? So long you should continue the action. As long as you have this question. Why? Because if the time really comes for you to give up action, the action will give us up. We don't have to give up action. And we see also in our life, there are many things which, we didn't want to do, but we continued doing. And when we outgrew them, those actions fell off. They are no more in our to-do list now. Why? Because the purpose is served. So when we become eligible for something higher, the lower thing automatically falls off. We don't have to give it up. So Arjuna, don't ask this question. Till when? Why? Because when the time will be there, the action will itself drop off. Śrī Kṛṣṇa continues the entire discourse of karma yoga, then karma sannyasa, and after gaining karma sannyasa also, tad vidhi pranipatina, etc., etc. He continues and he comes to the topic of meditation. That finally what you have to do. So the process that started Atmajnana, highest goal was shown, and then the karma yoga was given, then jnana karma sannyasa was given, then karma sannyasa was given. Now the immediate step before Atmajnana is that Dhyana Yoga or Atma Samyama Yoga. That is where he comes in 6th chapter, explains to Arjuna entire process of meditation and technique and what is to be done, what is the essential point, everything he explains. And he portrays such a beauty, and he goes to even recipe of meditation. He says step number 1, do this, step number 2, do this, step number 3, do. He is actually giving entire step-by-step process. And then he also paints a picture of a person who attains that Savikalpa, heights of Savikalpa Samadhi, that Nirvikalpa Samadhi, like a flame in a windless place. He portrays the entire picture. Arjuna raises his hand again. Bhagavan, what? Beautiful question of Arjuna. He says, Bhagavan, what you are saying is very, very beautiful, very, very great, but I don't think I can do it. It is all right. Whatever you said is correct only. That these are the process, and then you go and then you amani bhava, etc. Everything is correct. The state of mindlessness. But I don't think I can do it. Why? Chanchalam hi manah Krishna. Because I know my mind. It is very, very chanchala. Pramathi. Very, stubborn, balavadridham, it's very strong, and therefore, tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. To control the mind is like controlling a cyclone. It is not possible. No, what you said is right, I should do it, but I don't think I am capable. Why? Because of the nature of my mind. See, isn't it the question that we also will get? After listening to, most of the times that happens also, when we go to attend any camp, etc., we learn spiritual knowledge, etc. Most of the times we come back by saying that, I don't think I can do this. No, it is all good, it is all beautiful. We say also, oh, Swamiji, this place is so beautiful, Adi Shankara Nilayam, we feel like we should just stay here. After 7 days, that wish doesn't remain, because we know our mind. Slowly things start to come up. This place is very far from the city. Online order doesn't come here. Any hotel, restaurant nearby? Why? Because this is great. There is no doubt about it. But my mind is like this. What can I do? So Śrī Kṛṣṇa, what you are saying is right. but I don't think I can do it. Śrī Kṛṣṇa says, Arjuna, I agree that mind is like this. Arjuna, I agree. Asamshayam mahabhava. There's no doubt about what you are saying is right. Mano durnigraham chalam. The mind is, mind is this, what we say, turbulent, unsteady, continuously moving, unyielding. It is right. But there is a way. What is the way? Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. By continuous practice and by detachment, you can also gain this mastery over your mind. You can do it. Now Arjuna asks next question. Bhagavan, one more question. I can do abhyasa and vairagya, yes. But suppose I start on the spiritual path, I start controlling the mind, but before reaching the goal, suppose I die. What will happen to me? You see how logical questions are. Many times, people study Bhagavad-gita, but they don't understand why that question is coming. Because it's logical. Though it is possible, I know it is going to take time. I know that at this moment my mind cannot do it, but as Bhagavan said that by abhyasa, by practice, it will happen one day, but suppose before it happens I die. What will happen to me? So the second question within the 6th chapter is about this yoga bhrashta. That one who has done sadhana reached very close to the goal, but before reaching the goal, suppose he either falls from his path or dies. What will be his gati? What will happen to him? He says, Kam gatim Krishna gacchati. What will be his future? Bhagavan says that nothing wrong will happen to that person. Partha na eva iha na amutra vinashastasya vidyate. He will not be destroyed. His sadhana won't be destroyed. Nahi kalyana krit kaschit durgatim tata gacchati. If a person is good, has done sadhana, he will never go on a wrong path. On the contrary, Arjuna, till where he has reached, he will continue in the next birth. He will regain all the knowledge. If he has fallen, for why he fell, that obstacle will be removed and then he will regain the knowledge. If he did not fall, it was just the lack of time, then that time he will spend and he will regain the knowledge and will continue walking the path. Nothing wrong will happen to him, Arjuna. See, such a beautiful Samvada, so relevant that even after 5,500 years later, we are still discussing. That should be the quality of conversation. Otherwise, we just think what conversations we are having. Many times, it doesn't have relevance at the moment itself. Forget about later. And the conversation that Śrī Kṛṣṇa and Arjuna had, 5,005 years later also it has relevance. So, 6th chapter concludes with this answer of Arjuna, and with this, the majority of the question answers actually end. Because we see that 7 to 12th chapter, the knowledge given by is the knowledge given by Śrī Kṛṣṇa himself. We see that the 7th chapter starts without any question of Arjuna. The 9th chapter starts without any question of Arjuna. Why? Because this is something that Śrī Kṛṣṇa wants Arjuna to know. Now, when he is explaining something in 7th chapter, some questions arise about the terms that Śrī Kṛṣṇa has used. Arjuna has not understood the terms. Concept he is not understood. That is what he asks in 8th chapter, and Bhagavan gives answer also. 9th chapter, when Bhagavan explains about the bhakti and all these things, etc., Arjuna has a request that, please tell me your vibhutis, your glory, your manifold manifestation. So we have Vibhuti Yoga, 10th chapter, where Śrī Kṛṣṇa has explained about these different manifestations of him. After seeing that, Arjuna has another request. In the 11th chapter, he says, now I want to see Vishwarupa. You have shown me how you are there in the entire world. I want to see how the entire world is in you. I have heard about this so much. I want to see. So, of course, Śrī Kṛṣṇa shows him Vishwarupa. Very beautiful Samvada is there. Arjuna first is stunned. He doesn't know how to react. Then he is humbled. And then he goes into the state where he just feels gratitude for Krishna. And he says that, oh my God, I was with such a person and what I was talking to him. He says, I was with Bhagavan and I considered him as my friend. Sometimes I said bad words. Krishna, what did I do? Oh, prostrations unto you from front, from behind, from left, from right, from all sides. I just want to prostrate to you, Bhagavan. You are so great. I understand one thing. Sthane Hrishikesha tava prakirtya. Everything is where it is supposed to be. Why? Because when you are the one controlling it, the entire world, the world is fine. Beautiful conversation in 11th chapter. 12th chapter, we have one more question of Arjuna. Because the bhakti topic is going on. So, is the Nirguna Bhakta better or Saguna Bhakta better? Nirguna Upasaka is better or Saguna Upasaka is better? And we see that Bhagavan doesn't answer one side. He says both are good. But Saguna Upasakas are best. Why? Because you are capable of that only. Everywhere we see Arjuna asking question and Śrī Kṛṣṇa's reply is, what is for you? That I will tell you. Why? Because without preparing yourself, if you go for Nirguna, klesho hi adhikatarastesham, then there will be more pain, more difficulty. Therefore, do Saguna Upasana. Beautiful section. Again, we see in the next 6 chapters also, the 3rd section of Bhagavad-gita also, not many questions are there. Questions are very, 13th chapter, though sometimes that question is considered, sometimes in many texts it is not even considered, in Bhashya, Shankar Bhashya, etc. That question is not there. Kshetra, Kshetrajna, directly the answer is given by Śrī Kṛṣṇa. After explaining the 3 gunas, etc., in 14th chapter, Arjuna has asked about gunatita, and therefore Bhagavan has explained gunatita lakshana. 15th chapter, we see again there is no question of Arjuna, Bhagavan himself is answering. 16th chapter also goes without Arjuna's question. 17th chapter, one question comes which is relevant because of the end of 16th chapter, where Bhagavan has said that Shastra is most important, and therefore what to do, what not to do, scriptures say. And therefore follow the Shastra. So Arjuna's question in 17th chapter, if a person doesn't know the Shastra, but has got faith in somebody and is following, what will happen to him? Bhagavan says nothing will happen to him. He will continue as per his faith. If his faith is sattvic, he will have good result. If his faith is rajasic, he will have that result. If his faith is tamasic, he will have that kind of result. Concludes the 17th chapter also with this. 18th chapter, last chapter, we have one more question of Arjuna where he is asking about the essence of Tyaga and Sannyasa. He says, please tell me, what is the essence? Final question. And Bhagavan has answered beautifully and has completely explained all the topics that are covered so far also. Arjuna's questions are over. Śrī Kṛṣṇa's answers are also over. Now Śrī Kṛṣṇa asks one question to Arjuna. He says, Kachchid etat shrutam partha tvaya ekagrena chetasa kachchid ajnana sammoha pranashtaste dhananjaya. Very important question. Yesterday also we were seeing that Guru, a good teacher, always checks whether the student has understood or not. So at the end of Bhagavad-gita, Śrī Kṛṣṇa asks, Arjuna, did you listen properly? Did you understand? Is your delusion gone? Arjuna replies immediately, Nashto mohaha smritir labdha tvat prasadat maya achyuta sthitosmi gata sandeha. And I stand completely bereft of all the confusion and delusion. I have regained my nature. I have understood everything. Just before that, Bhagavan had said to Arjuna, whatever you want to do, yathechasi tatha kuru. Now I have given you, now I have explained to you everything. I am not insisting that you should follow it. See, that is, Bhagavan is living his knowledge. He has already explained in Karma Yoga that you do your action, don't expect that same result, what you want, will happen. So, though I have given you knowledge, I am not expecting that you will follow the knowledge. I have given you knowledge, now you do whatever you feel is right. Arjuna says, though I can do whatever I want, but karishye vachanam tava, I will follow what you have said. And thus concludes the Samvada of Śrī Kṛṣṇa and Arjuna. Bhagavad-gita concludes with Sanjaya reminiscing this beautiful dialogue between Śrī Kṛṣṇa and Arjuna, and says to Dhritarashtra, "Oh, what should I say? Oh Maharaj, I am so blessed that I got to listen to this beautiful dialogue between Śrī Kṛṣṇa and Arjuna." He says, ityaham vasudevasya parthasya cha mahatmana samvādam imam ashrausham adbhutam romaharshanam. Oh, what a beautiful dialogue I just witnessed. Vyasa prasadat shrutavan. It is by grace of my Guru, Veda Vyasa, that I got to listen to this. And therefore, yogam yogeshwarat Krishna. I listened to yoga from Yogeshwara. What to say? Rajan samsmritya samvādam imam adbhutam keshavarjunayoho punyam rishyāmi cha muhurmu. Again and again, reminiscing this beautiful dialogue between Śrī Kṛṣṇa and Arjuna, my mind is delighted. Tacha samsmritya rupam adbhutam hare especially mentions not only just dialogue, but I remember the Vishwarupa, because as Arjuna saw, Sanjay also saw. He says, Vismayo me mahan raja, rishyāmi cha punah punah, and I am becoming happy again and again listening to this beautiful dialogue. May this beautiful dialogue between Śrī Kṛṣṇa and Arjuna remove our delusion also and delight all of us as well. This was just an attempt to give you a peep into this vast ocean of Śrī Kṛṣṇa Arjuna Samvada. Okay? I urge all of you to study Bhagavad-gita thoroughly. Then only you will be able to enjoy the real beauty. Right? We'll conclude. Prostrations unto the entire Guru Parampara also for keeping this knowledge alive. And we are also still able to listen to or understand the Samvada of Śrī Kṛṣṇa and Arjuna by their grace. Prostrations unto all of them. We'll conclude. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om.